14th of July 2024, and this tranquil scene here of newly cut silage is very typical of the northeast part of the Irish Midlands. The river here is the River Glide that flows into Barley Hill Lake, and the bridge is Tobermannon Bridge, and somebody went to the trouble, probably the local council, of putting a notice on it. That stone that you see, that blue stone, that's limestone. And to my right is the County Monaghan, and to my left is the County Meath. And of course the province of Ulster is to the right, and the province of Leinster is to my left. Out here too, you have another field with silage cut. And up that road there, there's high ground, and all up in that direction, in the Meath direction, is Barley Hill, County Meath, and that has limestone quarry. Now, the limestone deposits are going back 200 million years when this area was under water. It was actually an extension of Dundalk Bay. And limestone, gypsum and brick clay was deposited by the steamy hot water. And in the immediate area of the quarry and the limestone, which must have been raised up a lot from the normal level, you get reasonable land. It's not the best land in Ireland, it's not the worst, but you get a lot of black clay in it, and you get a lot of damp land. And in the 1798 rebellion, the British forces beat the Irish and slaughtered some of them up at Knightstown Cross. It's on the road from Nobber to Navan. The Meath landowners were largely on the side of the British, many of them. Many of them were landlords themselves or their tenants. And part of the rebels from Wexford, mostly from Wexford, who came up to fight the British thinking they'd win. It was the same time, roughly, as the American Revolution and the French Revolution. But they found themselves cut off, and if they were captured, they'd be killed. And they came on towards Barley Hill, and when they got to Barley Hill, they were largely exhausted. And they scattered out here, and some of them actually got under trees and under bushes. And the local people in the Barley Hill area, right here near Tobermannon Bridge, were more sympathetic to them. The land wasn't owned by the real landlord classes, and there was a bit more sympathy. And some of them settled here and are here to this day, their descendants. And they had to get involved in cottage industries, for they didn't own much land. They might have been able to persuade someone to give them a half an acre and maybe only rent it. And they grew white thorn quicks. And to this very day, the craft of growing white thorn quicks is exclusive to this area. If you go into the Irish Farmers Journal or go into anywhere that advertises them quicks, these are white thorn bushes, saplings essentially, little trees called quicks. You'll notice that it's around here. The other thing they did a bit of was making poachine. It died out kind of here, but they made it out of necessity, for not only is the place a bit isolated, because the town of Kingscourt is must be 5 miles from here. The town of Carrickborough would be 6. So there is really no town near hand. And they made a wee bit of their own crafty beers and whiskies, but mainly poachine. And they also played traditional music. They brought their Irish traditional music from Wexford up. For many decades they didn't mix, and the locals didn't always mix with them. I don't know why that is. The names they have are mixed, but there's Doran. Doran is classic for the boys of Wexford settled up in Barley Hill. Another very common name is Byrne, Byrne. Very, very common, and it's unique to here. There are very few Byrnes anywhere else in this area. Like everybody, some emigrated to England and to the United States, Australia, but some stayed around. And they got a great boost in about say 1860, when there was a brick clay factory opened in the area using the brick clay. There was also a chimney pipe factory. And then in 1936, gypsum mines were opened, gypsum industries was opened. And when they accidentally set foot in this area, essentially looking for somewhere to stay, they didn't realise that these deposits of gypsum, of brick clay, of various other minerals, gypsum in particular, would eventually be a great economic boost to the area. And so for the middle of the 1900s and right up to now, to the year 2024, there's still a boost in this area. So it's a semi-industrialized area. And the presence of all these industries meant that local craftsmen and welders and fitters and all that could get employment. The boys of Wexford are to some degree married in to the local community. But for a long time there was a sort of inferiority complex. This feeling was, we came up here, we were beat, we had to look for somewhere for charity. But in the reality, what they were doing was, they were fighting for their homeland. They wanted our Ireland to be free, the same as the French, but particularly the same as the Americans. To say that they have any reason to be ashamed would be like saying George Washington's troops had reason to be ashamed. I'm not related to them in any way, but I can tell you, if I were, I'd be proud of it. I'm always proud to meet them. I still know about 5 of the sons of the boys of Wexford, and they're among my very, very good friends, and many are supporters of my own campaign. But it's interesting, like, we're just here, not far from Ballyhole Lake. There's a field day or an open fun day as well at Ballyhole Lake, which really is in sort of the centre of where the boys of Wexford settled in the North Meath and South Monaghan area. So I hope that's a bit of a help and something interesting, and we'll see you back again something soon. Bye.